I always say you cannot build a premium brand on freemium knowledge. You cannot build a premium brand on freemium.
Hello and welcome back to another episode on the Wealth in Christ Show, a show where we inspire the masses to become financially free while building God's kingdom. On the show today, we have Miss Temi Ajbewa, also known as Coach Temi. Coach Temi is an award-winning, high sought-after thought leader in the personal development and business niche. Coach Temi helps leaders and experts build and monetize their brand online. In this episode, we will discuss what it takes to build and monetize a personal brand online. So thank you for being here, Coach Temi.
Thank you so much for having me.
How are you doing today?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
I'm doing well. So my first question to start off this interview is, who is Coach Temi?
Okay, so allow me to just define myself by who I believe I really am in terms of my philosophy about life, my core values, and my motivation. I like to begin by saying, it said that champions start with their why. So my why for existence, in my opinion, is my motivation. And that is currently, my why is significance, my quest for significance. I believe I exist to make significant transformation in the lives of people around me. People get better, they feel better, they are better after encountering me. So significance is a huge part of my motivation. My second motivation, I would call it luxurious comfort, where I engage in activities I believe will afford me luxury, even though comfort at the same time. Mm-hmm. All right. And then finally, I respond to things that make me feel free. And so freedom is also a core value for me. All right. So that's how I respond to things. If it's to make me more significant, afford me luxurious comfort, and then make me free, time and money freedom. Right. And then, of course, my passion or my core values rather are knowledge. So I'm huge on knowledge. I'm huge on learning, okay? Learning myself and also impacting knowledge to other people. That's a big part for me. The second one of my core value is execution. I am huge with execution. I don't just think it. As I'm thinking it, I'm implementing it. As I'm thinking it, my speed of execution is alarming. And because I believe in messy action, I do not believe there would always be a good time or a perfect weather to do something to plant. And so I don't wait till all the parameters are met before I move. Now, does that mean I'm reckless? I would say some 10 years ago, when I began to build the muscle of speedy execution, you could call me reckless. But today, I have built the muscle over and over and over. At a time, it could take me 2 months to make a decision. But later on, because the more decision I made, the better I got at making good decisions. And so later on, it took me 2 weeks to make a good decision. Then at the time, 2 days, make a good decision. You just consider the parameters, okay, based on your core values, based on what is important to you, based on your goals, this, make it say yes or say no, okay? Make the decision. And that's just it for me. So as time went by, from 2 weeks to 2 days, to 2 hours, to 2 minutes. So the moment I'm thinking it, already I've scanned my brain across my experiences in the last 6 months, 1 year, 10 years. I know if it's good or if it's bad. Someone could tell me, come and invest in this stuff. And when I see the characteristics of the stuff, I can say, wah, wah, wah. No, this one will land me in trouble. And so based on that, I just, I don't go further on it, right? So that's basically, so for me, it's expertise, so it's execution that now leads to expertise. So, I mean, once you execute on your knowledge over and over again, you will build expertise. So my third core value is expertise. I don't believe I can do it alone. And so I give I submit myself to experts as my coaches, my mentors, my guide, even, to the simplest of things. I don't say, oh, I'll just Google it. And I look for the experts at it and I submit myself to mentorship or to expertise. And the same thing goes with me. Before I call myself a name, I know that I must have gotten results. In that case, I am an expert at it. And then finally is passion. Passion drives me. Like I am unrealistically passionate about the things I have passion for. You'd be like, no, this one is too much. Like, how can one human being be so enthusiastic about life? So when I'm angry, I'm passionate. When I'm happy, oh, I'm all over. Even with simple conversations, I don't know how to have normal, usual, gentle conversations. No, I have to go all out, like show up fully, 1,000,000%. And so passion is a big one for me. And so when someone called me the electric Temi, they nailed it right on the head. So yes, you can call me the electric Temi. That's about who I am. Now, what I do, I'm a coach. I do business coaching. I'm a personal branding expert. I'm a wife. I'm a mom. So those are the hats I wear. But my core values and my motivation, they define who I am. And I believe that my purpose in life is to guide people into self-transformation and wealth creation. That's it.
No, that's a wonderful introduction, and I definitely want to go into a little deeper. A couple of things that you said that kind of stood out to me. One that's coming to mind is about, it's speed that makes you become an expert. The more you do things and more quickly you do that, you do things make you expert. What made you, like, how did you go about learning that? Like, like speed is what creates success. Because oftentimes people like to procrastinate, thinking that they have tomorrow, they have 20 years before they can do something, or they have to wait for something to happen, right? So what allowed you now at this point in your career to, like, when something happens, you have to execute?
My failures. My failures taught me, like, it said that if you keep doing the same thing over and over again and expect a different result, that's insanity. So I saw where I was going. I saw my movement. I'm like, I'm not moving closer to where I want to be. Like, I'm having troubles here. What's the problem? And so it pushed me to, to seek for answers. It pushed me to say, okay, what do I need to do differently? Okay, who do I need to reach out to, right? And all of that. I mean, it's just, I mean, it's a no-brainer when you know what you're looking for and you don't have it. You are concurrently missing out on it. And I think some of us don't just realize it because we don't carry out self-examination. I've forgotten who said it, but he said, a life unexamined is not worth living. Life unexamined is not worth living. So if you don't review your life as frequently as daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, then you don't even deserve the breath that you have, because how do you ensure that you are fulfilling purpose, that you are doing what you should be doing in life? How do you ensure that you are living life as you should be living it, or you are abusing the purpose of your life? So because some of us just miss out on the evaluation purpose or the review, we don't see that we are failing. We don't see what we are missing. We don't see that we are far from our goals. But I do that a lot, right? So my failures just showed me what I was doing wrong. And I knew to correct those, to get better results, I needed to do better. And so it goes without saying, I had to, and now as personality type, I used to be a heavy, full sanguine. And one of sanguines, that's a personality type, a temperament type. Sanguine's most, renowned weakness is procrastination. Like, they love it. They have the va-va-vu to start it, but tell them now, take a step, and then they stay on it. They stay on it. So I knew that was going to be a big problem for me. So I just switched. So from thinking about that, okay, I'll do it tomorrow, to let me do it now. Why not now? Like, just do it now, and then it's over, and then it's done. And before I knew it, I was getting massive things done. I was checking off some main projects off my list. I'm like, whoa, done. And I'm going to see the life I dreamt of. And I'm like, okay, so if this will get me here, it only makes sense that I keep doing that to get closer to where I want to be. And of course, I studied. I saw world famous, successful people in ministry, in business, in marriage. They all go against procrastination. They take action, and imperfect steps. Just go for it. So that's basically why I'm that person today who, I go for it as quickly as I can.
Now that's definitely well said. And I wanted to, ask, with all the different core values you have, what led you to want to become a personal branding expert?
What informed you to become a personal branding expert?
Yeah.
Okay, so that part of me is me trying to monetize my purpose. So like I said, I love to help people through the journey of self-transformation, because I had to go through that personally, and so I came out with a framework of how you can literally transform yourself from whatever dungeon you may be in to living a life of impact and being fulfilled doing what you love. So that was one part of me, and also wealth creation, helping you to make money. So I realized that when I say, oh, I can help you self-transform, I can help you find yourself, I can help you do this, people don't really get it, or they're unable to connect. But when I say, oh, I help you brand yourself, they're like, oh, okay, you mean like I would look this? I say, yes, you'll be able to attract your ideal audience. You'll be able to impact people. You'll be able to show up and be more confident. They're like, oh, okay, that makes sense to me. That's more relatable to them. Yeah. But the truth is, I cannot brand you in isolation. If we don't know you, we cannot brand you. So I literally have not said, so I market to them what they want, but I coach them on what they need, which is, let's meet you. Who are you? What's your life purpose, your talents, your passion, your core values, your philosophy about life? Like, what makes up you as an individual? So during those revelation, discovery, clarifying process, you're like, oh my God, this is who I am. And because, we're mostly trained to study our environment, study animals, study rocks, sands, even other human beings, but we're not really taught to study ourselves. So when I come in and I'm showing you who you are, you're like, whoa, this is me, whoa. Naturally, your confidence will go up, right? Naturally, you will feel secured more and more in yourself. And then you feel okay shouting your message, because now you know your core values. You are aware of your core message in life. You are aware of your ideal audience, who you've been sent to. Everything is not so clear to you. When I now say brand that person, you're like, oh, of course, for sure. I need to brand this person. I need my voice to be heard. When I say, okay, build a website, it now makes sense to them. But having a website, having your brand colors, going to studio to take pictures, all of those external branding elements will mean nothing if we have not first done the internal work of discovering who you are.
No,
I hope that makes sense.
that makes sense. That makes
So
sense.
personal branding is a way for me to productify, to put together the products I have, which is self-transformation and wealth creation. Simply put, you monetizing yourself, your natural ability, your gift, your knowledge, your expertise, your passion, your experiences, you monetizing that is what the whole personal branding thing is about.
That's well said. And through your experience, what's some mistakes or 3 mistakes people make when trying to grow their brand, their personal brand, through your coaching, from going from transformation, as you mentioned, that you first need to understand who you are. But oftentimes
Yes.
I'm sure people go through some challenges of trying to build that self-confidence, build that confidence saying that it's okay. People know who they are. So what's some mistakes that people go through or make when trying to grow a brand?
Fantastic. Now, I will say there are 3 core mistakes that people make. And the very first one is almost unbelievable, right? That one is taking yourself for granted, right? People often take themselves for granted. They feel like, who am I? What do I know? I don't have any passion. I don't have any talent. I mean, they just take themselves for granted because they are too familiar with themselves. And so they just live life common, casual, and as if nothing important about them, right? So I see this one a lot. It's the first one I notice when I'm trying to help people, at least with the majority of those that come to me. And I used to be there too. I mean, I don't know why, but for some reason, from the very beginning, people used to ask me for what business they should start, right? What business they should start. They would say, they would ask, Temi, what business do I start? And this, and in my head, I'll be thinking, why won't you know what business to start? Come on, look at this, look at this. So I would think that they were foolish, whereas the joke was on me. I was a foolish one. Apparently, knowing what business to start is not common knowledge.
Yeah.
Whereas I could ask you a few questions and boom, I have it. So one of my, I have 3 superpowers. I mean, God gave me those superpowers. I can't even lay claim to them. And the first one is clarity. So when I speak to people, I bring immense clarity to their hearts. They just talk to me for 10, 15 minutes and they know what next step to take, right? So that was a gift I did not know I had. People did not even know it. I mean, people knew it, I did not know. So they would come to me for clarity and I would miss out on that conversation. The next one that I know I also have is, like I said, execution, right? So I mean, that it's a huge gift for me. And the final one is speed. I don't only execute, I did with speed, all right? So now back to this thing of, mistakes people make. It's that they think that it's commonplace, what they know is usual, what they do, nothing, because it's so easy for them.
Yeah.
They assume it's easy for other people. So I do public speaking like no man business. When I read that glossophobia is like the #1 fear in the world, that some people would rather die than make a public presentation. I cannot relate. I'm like, how? Just show up and talk. Like it's but of course, it's not common, right? There are few of us, who have it, and some of us who have to develop it. So to me, it's common, it's usual, it's just me, right? So the first one again is taking yourself for granted. That happens a lot. Number two, that people also make mistake they make in personal branding is focusing on the exterior. So yes, the branding will get you noticed, get you visibility. But when people come knocking, who is at home? Who would they meet inside, right? Your core values, your brand vision, your brand mission, right? Your brand philosophy. These are things that will anchor you and keep you centered beyond your fancy websites and font types and colors and pictures. So focusing on the exterior is a major mistake that some people make when it comes to building their personal brand, right? And the final one I would like to highlight this, on this call is trying to wing it. I've seen some people, trying to just wing it, go on Google, they go and find some things here and there. And the truth is, there is only how far free information can take you. I always say you cannot build a premium brand on freemium knowledge. You cannot build a premium brand on freemium knowledge. You have to invest in the brand you want to build because you will make money from it. So you need to have that initial investment, that capital that you're putting together to say, okay, I am putting this money in so I can get this out, and then it also shows that you value yourself. Yeah. It shows that you respect yourself enough to invest in yourself. It also shows that you are ready for people to also pay you. That's what it means, because it's a seed you are sowing. If you're not willing to invest in other people's products to guide you, no one will be willing to invest in you as well. So trying to wing it and just attend free webinars, free podcasts, free books, free this, free that, it won't take you far. And I've seen people who have tried it and they come to me 2-3 years down the line. It is sad. And they say, I've tried to do it on my own and now I'm stuck. I really want to know what. And they are 3 years later than they should be, right? So please don't make the mistake. If your heart is tugging and there is something that is unclear to you, reach out for help, professional help. Okay, reach out for help and make the investment. There's always something you can pay for a session, for someone to offer you clarity. And that way you can absolutely move closer and faster to your goals in life.
Hey family, I hope you enjoyed this episode so far. On December 17th, I'll be hosting a free panel discussion titled The Road to Success. This panel discussion will take place at CAC Mountain of Blessed, New York, and this panel discussion will feature Carlene Robinson from episode 15, Derek Skeet from episode 4, and Jamal Boyd from episode 49. Click the link down below to RSVP for this event. Now back to the episode.
Thank you.
Now you're 100% right about that, about making the investment that, is important to invest in yourself. Just like you said, I've heard it many times that you can't expect people to pay premium prices when you yourself haven't paid premium prices because you don't know what it's worth. And which leads me to ask, actually I have 2 questions from that. How important was mentorship for you? Because it seemed like, from this interview so far, you mentioned you invest in people who are expert, you just mentioned the point of mentorship, how it speeds up your process to reach success. So how important was mentorship to get your personal developed to where it is now?
Mentorship was huge, or is a huge part of my journey so far. So huge. I can't even begin to tell you how huge, but it all began from, moving close to some people who were doing the things I wanted to do. And my mind could not carry that. These people are so young. How can they know so much? How can they be making so much money? How can they be living life so fulfilled? Like, why? How? And so I got closer. And I always say that mentors give you the psychological permission to reach for more, to dream, to go for more, because now you see it's been done. It just demystifies the success. You're like, if they can do it, they give that psychological permission to also reach out to do it as well. This story is told of this runner who before him, nobody had run past a particular 100 yards or something. And then this guy broke the record. And within the space of maybe months or so, several other people broke that record. Why? Because it gave them the psychological permission to reach for more. So when I'm in trouble, I have those who I can easily call, and they're like, Temi, just hold on, calm down. People can even reach out to them, embarrass them on my behalf, but they still stand with me. That alone just gives me that I'm not alone. I'm not alone. I have people who still trust me, who still believe in me. When I make mistakes, they are available. When I need help, they are there. When I need insights, they are there. I remember my very first online business. When I began the business, someone was offering to charge me, was offering not to teach me, but to make me their agent, right, of that particular business. But I'm like, I want to learn. He said, no, that if he teaches or if he taught me, I will become his competition. So this guy refused. He refused to, to coach me. And so I went to Google, I went to go and Google the business idea. I saw the whole thing. I did not know that Google only taught me the codes. Google forgot to teach me the business of the business. Why? Because such things are never put out there. That was why I said you cannot build a premium brand on freemium knowledge. I wasn't talking from a book I read. It was my personal experience, because after about 3 months in this business, I was doing so well. However, it crashed.
Wow.
And great was the fall. All the profits I had made over 3 months went down the drain. I was literally depressed until I had to deploy Google. But this time around, to look for a teacher, to look for a mentor. So I Googled the business with keywords as to who was willing to teach me. And that was how I found a guy, and this was in 2014, I believe. Yes, 8 years ago. And this guy charged me 30,000 naira, approximately then about $100, right? And that was how this guy taught me the business. And within 4 months, I made back all I had lost plus more. In fact, I hit the 1 million naira, income goal within 4 months online. And then thereafter, I began to do so well. Another guy to pick me up as a mentor, as a mentee, and mentored me through the online space. He taught me sales funnels, writing your copies, helping with, buying my domain name. I can't forget, I want to buy Millionaire Housewife. It was taken. Then he said, add the to it, THE. So I added the Millionaire House, and it was available. So that was how I put my domain name that period, and then from there I learned Facebook advertising, writing sales copies, creating my lead magnet, email sequence, and so on and so forth. He helped me. His name is Ronald, right? And that was how he took me through the whole process. So from there also, I got some other mentors who helped me to put a framework around my life, my self-transformation core message. I built a framework around it thanks to a mentor. Even being a successful woman who is also a mother and a wife, I had a mentor who took me through that dynamics as well. So practically, I would say my hustling and struggling has been greatly reduced because I don't try to figure out everything myself. And I have those I call the clarity team, a clarity team. So I bounce my ideas off them as soon as I get them. So if it's becoming too complex for my head to carry it, I call them up. What do you think? What do you think? In the moment of counsel, there is safety. Yeah. So I really don't try to wing things on my own, honestly, right? I just go for it. So mentorship is a huge deal. So huge, I had to write a book about it. So I have this book I call A Millennial's Guide to mentoring, right? And this book, I had to invite 15 of my friends and mentors to contribute to the book, to answer questions on mentoring, what's mentoring? Why should you have mentors? What do you do when there are issues? How do you maximize mentorship and different things like that, right? So it is a huge part of my life. I can stay here for the next hours talking to you about mentorship.
Yeah, you're definitely right. And I hope those who are listening definitely see how mentorship has changed your life. As having mentorship in every aspect of your life is definitely something I aspire to do as well. Once I do get married and start having children. And I want to ask, from mentorship, what are other steps that people need to go from to apply to their life to build a profitable brand? So after they get the mentorship, what's the next steps, the next 5 steps or 3 steps in order for them to build this profitable brand that they can make money off from?
Okay. So you're asking that when someone gets mentorship, what else do they do?
Yeah, after the next step to build a profitable brand.
Yes. So get mentorship, invest in yourself as an individual, learn the tools of your trade, master the tools of your trade. How do you do what? So if you, for example, you're a personal brand in events, industry, it makes sense for you to know what it is that you're doing, right? If you're into business coaching, you want to know it hands down. If you're a creative, a creative who does social media marketing, or you do video content, you want to know how to manage your business. So understand, have that technical know-how, about your business. So invest in it. So that way, people can trust you over and over that, okay, you are consistent and you deliver value. The next thing you want to do is you want to be visible. Okay, so being visible is it's not optional. It's not what you do or don't do. It's what you have to deliberately do every single day. Like you put yourself in that framework, you put yourself in that environment where you are visible. You're on Facebook groups, you talk there. You're on WhatsApp group, you contribute. On your mobile, on your socials, you post content. Use the right hashtags. Join communities, engage with other people. Just be visible with your brand. If you don't have the time, use your money. So write a beautiful post and boost the posts. Run adverts to it. Have a channel where you're able to churn out content to people to bless them, right? To add value to their lives. So it could be your podcast, your YouTube channel, your socials, Facebook community, and so on and so forth. Email lists. That's some of them that you can, really leverage on to get people to get to see you, get to know you. And I would say, once you are visible, please be consistent. You can't do a touch and go kind of thinking, right? Try to be consistent. Yeah, sometimes it could be a bit tough, but maybe you should just learn to master the tools first or the process first, and then you can hire an assistant. Let's say a virtual assistant, a VA or an EA who works with you virtually to help you handle those loose parts of your brand, right? But the moment you have, the crux or the major thing you want to focus on, please don't stop. Stay consistent at it. No, be consistent, be consistent, be consistent. And I also speak to this one as well. When just starting out, I recommend you niche down. Okay, I recommend that you just focus on one for now. Not because you can't do everything. I recommend not just everything at the same time at the beginning. As time goes on, after about 3 months, you can add a second one to it. After about 6 months, you can add a third one to it. After about 1 year, you can add a sixth one. I mean, anything. But at the beginning, be known for one thing, because we who are outside cannot really handle you doing everything. Like, we will not be sure, because why? We human beings like to box people. It's just our nature. We so want to think of Tesla and think of one person. Think Apple, you think of one person. Or call Dangote, oh, he's cement, even though he does several other things. Call this. I mean, we like to just box people. So allow us, forgive us, allow us to box you for at least well packaged for the first 3 to 6 months, where you're just showing your expertise, your awesomeness, you're showing your shine, in one particular area. If you serve us so well and so good in that one area, we would love you endlessly. And if at that time you say, oh, you're selling pictures, we would buy. Oh, you have t-shirts to sell, we would buy. Oh, now it's houses. You have served us so well. You have given us value in one thing, and so we can trust you. I mean, take, for example, the brand of Serena Williams, because she has done so well with tennis. When she launched a sports line, or is it the clothing line, we all fell in love with it. I mean, we all went for it to buy something. Why? Because we've loved her and adored her on one thing over and over and over. And there are so many people that have that. I mean, have such examples, right? So once you build a brand, you also want to please start with a niche. So, for example, I began with helping housewives, to start their businesses. Then later on, I expanded beyond housewives. I began to help general businesses. Then later on, I went further to help only coaches. Then, I mean, and now, I work with experts. I'm sure if I had begun with helping only coaches in my 8 years ago, no one would have believed me, because even I was still getting myself together as at that time, But over the years, and now I don't only do business coaching, I also do wealth creation coaching, I do life coaching, I do real estate investments, which is under wealth coaching, but nobody is questioning me. Nobody is doubting me. I didn't even put personal branding, in the whole mix, right? My point is, I'm doing many things and nobody is confused. They are happy to buy anything I'm selling, because I've proven myself over and over and over again over the years to be good at what I do, whatever that may be. So those are the steps to take beyond just mentorship. Yes. So take massive action. That's also very important. Don't just stay and permutate and let yourself be saddled with analysis paralysis. Please take action. All right, go for what you want, and by all means, you move closer and closer. And I would say get the right coaching. Coaching is really important. Beyond self-studying, but at the time you may just get tired, but your coach empowers you to achieve your goals. Your consultants will help you, would help you achieve the goal by doing it for you, right? Your mentor will show you the path to achieve it, but your coach will empower you and give you inner strength and tell you, go for it. Yes, you can do it. yes, go for it, and give you all the tools and the strategies and everything, that you need for you to achieve your own goals, not someone else's goals. But when you're done, you will be so proud of yourself.
Hey family, I hope you're enjoying this episode so far. And if you are and you have yet to subscribe to us here on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. And also, if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts and you have yet to leave us a 5-star review, please do so. Now back to the episode. Wow, wow, wow. So I'll definitely, so my next question, once you figure out yourself, once you have, you got the mentorship, you own the skills that you have, and you start
Yes.
more consistent, what are ways that people can go about monetizing their brand? What are a few things that people can do to start monetizing? Because we know a lot of people on social media, they have big followers, they have great fans, but they are not able to monetize from these people and their supporters. So how can people monetize from their personal brand?
Absolutely. So you can do this by with first, very simply, writing your book. Write a book. Okay, put together your knowledge, your expertise, everything you know, put it in a book and write a book. Promote it to your audience, leverage on other people's platforms, run ads, and do a book. That way you are releasing, from yourself out to the world. You're impacting, you're influencing, and of course you make money as well. All right, that's very important. You can also create an online course, right? Put your knowledge together in a chronological format that can deliver transformation to people, that can deliver the right knowledge and solution to people. Put it in a course. You can also put it in a coaching program. When you design a signature solution system, right, and you say people can take this step 1, step 2, step 3, and they will achieve their goals. That's coaching right there. You have a framework that you can take people through. And that's you. You can do that. You can mentor people through the process and say, see, I've done it. This is what I did. You can also do the same thing, right? You can consult, you can speak, right? You can become a public speaker. You can really literally do anything to monetize your brand. So I do it all. I consult for thought leaders that want to create online courses and sell their online courses. I coach leaders who want to learn how to build their personal brand, build their authentic personal brand and monetize it. I consult for people that want to write their books, that want to create their courses. I train as well. So I train organizations on personal branding, right? I have over 100 online courses in my academies, right, that I monetize, and I have books. I have 5 published books, right? So I have 3 of them here. The fourth and fifth are not here, right? This is how to make millions in your nightgown. Then how to make millions doing what you love, right? A millennial's guide to mentoring. Yes, and I have another book, self-transformation, right? Then my latest book is, I even also have another one here. What business do I start? My very first book. My latest book is Your Faith Has Made You Broke. And this is the book I wrote to attack Christians who have something against wealth. So I say, your faith has made you broke. So that one is currently at the press, but it's already been published, right? So books, phenomenal ways to monetize your personal brand. And I must add live events too. Live masterclasses, live events. Oh gosh, I love masterclasses. I thrive on them. I enjoy masterclasses, right? They are so good. So for me, these are the ways that I've monetized my personal brand. But you can also run online webinars, right? One-off training or teaching, an hour or 2, and then people pay to access it. Also boot camps. I run a boot camp known as the Highly Paid Coach Boot Camp, where I coach coaches to monetize their expertise and skills as coaches. I run a boot camp like every quarter, and it does really, really well, when people sign up for it. So these are all, a couple of ways you can monetize your personal brand. You can design templates, checklists, simple things that tools that people can use to get solutions. These are different ways for you to monetize your personal brand. I hope that helps.
No, that definitely helps, and I'm glad that you share that. I want to turn the conversation a bit. You've been doing coaching, you've been building your brand for the past 8 years. I can imagine that you faced some challenge, and you're still facing some challenge. Growing as a personal thought leader. As a coach. So what are some of the challenges you face and are still facing as a brand, growing your brand?
Okay. Let me see. Challenges I face. There are a couple of them. I'm just not sure which one to which one to. So every now and then there's still an issue of trust in the online space. Though I think those are in the minority, and the people who have trust issues aren't really my ideal clients, because my ideal clients want to leverage on technology to build their own brand. So if you're having issues trusting me to help you online, then you're not ready for what I have to offer. There's the issue of trust. People just feel like, oh, can I really trust you? Maybe you will scam me, that kind of thingy. It still happens once in a while. Challenge would also be people not executing. They think coaching is like a done-for-you service, right? Which is why now on all my coaching programs, I always put the done-for-you. That's the consulting. So I'll tell you, to buy the course content alone is $15. If you want content plus coaching, it's $25. If you want content plus coaching plus plus group coaching, is $25. If you want plus one-to-one coaching, right? That one is $5,000. Now, if you want the coaching plus done for you services, it's $10,000. I mean, that way, before you choose your your option, you'd have seen all the options. You can buy only the course, take it and go, and you'll be fine. Or you can say, oh, I want some coaching, but it will be in the group. No one-to-one, no DMing me, no WhatsApping me at midnight. Because you saw the one-on-one coaching, did not choose it. Now, when you're one-on-one coaching as well, don't think it's done for you. I'm giving you strategies and tasks. You have to perform them and complete them, because you saw the done for you services option and did not choose it. So please, let's be very clear. So people come in thinking that they can just, dump the work on you is also a bit of a challenge. But thankfully, I've been able to sift through that by making my programs by application only. Like, I literally have to speak with you, get to know you, be convinced by you that you are a fit for my program before I let you in, unless you are buying just the course alone. Just the course alone, you're good. But if it's with coaching, definitely we must talk about it. Oh no, I have to meet who you are, meet you and know who you are. So I'm saying these are like the top two issues I would say I face. Now, maybe a third one that can be a bit personal, not really generic, is because I live in Nigeria. So for now, I'll be moving to the US very soon. So right now I have issues of power, bad internet. I mean, it's been seamless, and I'm surprised. I've had several times today where it's been off, I have no single bar on my internet. But that one is just because I can say I live in a third world country. By the time, if not, I should not have such an issue. Say if I was in Dubai, for example, come on, that would not be an issue for me. So you can say power, and just like the basic challenges I would say I have faced. Then maybe because my mindset is really not tuned towards seeing challenges, right? I see them as opportunity. And this happened for me 16 years ago when I was at a conference organized by my church, Daystar Christian Center, by Reverend Sam Adeyemi, in school, Unilag, and he was talking about people's problems and flipping it to show you opportunities. Reverend Sam was saying people have their hair here needs to be cut, hair needs to be made, clothes need to be washed, mouths are dirty, mouth needs to be washed, those toothbrush need toothpaste, mouths are hungry, needs to be fed, those food needs to be cooked. Like, it was just flipping human's problem to show you opportunities. So since then, I've kind of been wired that once it's a problem, there is a solution right inside it. And really, since then, my mindset has been tuned towards getting solutions as against seeing something as a challenge. So that's it.
No, that's definitely well said. And I'm glad that you mentioned that you're doing this this interview from Nigeria, because there is oftentimes, because of people's environment, they use it as an excuse not to want to become successful, or why they can't become successful. And I want to ask, despite all these challenges, how has your faith in God help you through this process of to continue to say, yes, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, that God gave you this vision to empower people, to show people, transform people. How has your faith helped you in this journey through God gave you is still going to happen?
Oh, yes, yes. So I don't believe I have a business or I have a purpose without my faith. It was through my faith I found my purpose. It was through my faith my values were coined, my philosophy about life. So my faith plays an integral part of who I am and what I do to a large extent. So I would say I'm literally nothing, I have no brand, I have no business without my faith. And here, faith in Jesus Christ as the Son of God, in the Trinity, in the Holy Spirit in particular. And, there have been times where not times, several times, and as often as possible, where I quarrel with God, and I'm like, G-man, look at this now, what's up? Like, there's a day I was talking to someone and I was relaying a conversation I had with God to her. And she was like, is that really God you're talking to like that? I'm like, yeah, he's my father. And my dad, I call my dad Pale. Maybe that's why. So I have a Pale is like a very colloquial way to address your father, right? But my dad say, hey, when I say, oh, Pale, he says, oh, his child. Like you say, oh, like dad. Yeah. And he say, oh, dad's child. How are you? That kind of thing. And so I'm like, that's how I talk to God, right? There's no formality. Like, there was a day I was meditating and then God put a scripture on my heart and it was a blessing. Actually, it was a blessing in my, and I opened my eyes and I'm like, are you sure? Are you sure? Like, I could literally feel God bursting into laughter to say, God, what kind of child is this? And I'm like, yeah, because you said this the last time and Alpha, I've not seen it. So this way I think again, like, please, I can't believe it. Just leave me alone. Allow me meditate in peace. Will you, please, Holy Spirit, just please tell God I should just excuse me for some minutes now, And that's how I just relate to God, right? Very, very, very real. And I feel him. And, we have conversations when things get tough. I just go, I'm helpless. I'm helpless. I remember I was in London about a month ago on the 15th of, I can't remember, of last month, yeah, a month ago, actually. Today is, yeah. So, and it was, I was almost stranded on the streets of London.
Oh.
Like I could not use my card. When I got somewhere to pay with the cash, they were fully booked. I couldn't get somewhere to lay my head. I needed to book a ride to where I was going. So I had many things going wrong. I was on the road, and it was cold, of course. And there was a lady who I had worked with. I had served her as her coach to help her launch a coaching program. She had launched, but it was not as effective as it should have been. She just got one person to sign up. So when I got into the picture, she was able to get about 10 people to sign up. And she had amazing testimonials from those guys. And she was thanking me for helping her to get them. That because without me, she would not know how to market them enough to be able to transform their lives. Like, even though they paid, but it wasn't the money for her. Anyway, she was not ready to relaunch. And she needed my help again to really, work with the strategy. And then she had been sending me some charts for like a day or two before then. I was not opening a chart because I was in transit. So I didn't want to open the chart and not be able to respond and forget. I was moving off Wi-Fi, airport Wi-Fi here and there. So at that moment, she just called me. And I picked up the call again because I have so trained my emotions, over time. I just picked the call and I said, hi, I called her name, that you see, I've received your messages, but I cannot reply your message just yet because I've been in transit. But I promise you, once I'm settled, right, I will get back to you. I am currently on the streets of London and I'm stranded. So just give me some minutes. Let me get myself together. Once I'm in a place I can think, I will read your messages. She said, Temi, where are you again? I said, I'm in London. Where in London? I'm in central London, Kensington. She said, Temi, I live in London. And I'm like, no.
Wow.
She said, I live in London. Now here's my address. See, address. I don't even have money to pay the fare guy. He said, no, just come. I'll call my husband, but you can come. I said, no, let me wait for your husband. He said, no, I'll be coming. Isn't all you? Come. And that was how I got a ride to her house. She was waiting for me. And I stayed with her for almost 3 weeks, all through my stay in the UK, right? I did not pay a dime. That night when I was going to bed, God was saying to me, so when I was saying, oh, thank you, Jesus, for today, it was so good. Then I heard him say, did you really think I'll leave you stranded? And I'm like, I was ashamed. You pray every morning, you ask for divine protection, divine provision, divine direction, and then you didn't really think I would leave you. And I'm like, hey, I'm sorry. Calm down now, no vex. I have heard you. I'm sorry. I didn't think you would leave me alone, And I could literally feel his warmth, his warm embrace as I went to bed at night. So really, my faith has been a huge, humongous part of my life. I mean, I carry my devotions everywhere down here. I have my journal. Currently, I'm studying Believe Bigger. This is my devotional journal, right? I meditate every day. I do 1 hour, I pray, run my Bibles and everything. So I can't even define myself out of my faith, right? It's been a huge part of my life and what I do as a human being. So
That's really great. And I wanted to go back to the new book that you're releasing about faith.
Yes.
You have a strong relationship in God and a strong belief, and how God has helped you through this process. And And you mentioned that, with the book of the title, your faith will make you broke. And
Faith has made you broke.
your faith has made you broke. I apologize. So I want to ask, what led you to write that book specifically and towards Christians? And if you can explain, elaborate about that.
Yeah, so I got that title 9 years ago. And I wrote the book 3 years ago. But until this year, I did not release the book. When I got the title, it was floating in my head, like your faith. I felt like, no, they would eat me raw. And then, it was just my experience with believers who engage in slothfulness in the name of religion. And then they end up losing their job, losing their customers. So you're going to church. I think it's a Nigerian thing anyway. Going to church 6:30 a.m. You're in church till 8 o'clock. And then you get to the office, you are late. Your boss is livid. You go for vigils every night. You get to office the following, you are sleeping, at work, right? You open your shop. Normally you should open to customers by 8 o'clock. And you begin praying from 7:30 to 9 o'clock. People are waiting to buy from you. And you claim to be praying. See, that's not faith. That's just outright slothfulness, laziness, and stupidity. If I may add, it's not wise. So I saw all that, in the practical sense of it, and also the part of, you can't be rich or else you go to hell, and they don't see that their houses of worship are built with money.
Yeah.
The missionaries on the field need money. There are so many orphans that you need to help. It's money you would use. Terrible schools all over. Hungry people everywhere. You need money. How can you say God does not want you to be rich, and yet there's so many things you need money to do? Doesn't make sense. How can your God be the one that owns the whole world in his hands, yet you are his child and then you are poor? It makes no sense, right? How can you say that it will be difficult for a rich man to get put into heaven like Camel? You miss the point where that guy had idolized his money. When Jesus said, leave it all, the guy, he was sad. If he had left it all, I'm sure we will not have that statement from Jesus. Right? It is when what you own now owns you. That's when it's the problem. That's an idol right there, taking the place of Jesus in your heart. You must be able to forsake. It's when Jesus was saying, oh, you must forsake your father and mother to follow me. How many of us Christians do forsake our mothers and fathers to follow him? We don't, not literally, right? So he's saying there that unless you are able to de-idolize these things and have me at the center of everything, that means I own it all. God can ask you for anything at any time. I have this book in front of me. It's my covenant book with God. So in March 2016, God gave me, a covenant, April 2016, a 50 item memorandum or deed of agreement, between the two of us. And there's a part where God said, so item number 6, he said that there shall be nothing too large for Temi to lay down at any time T, if requested by God. That's the term of my agreement with God, right? There is number 5 says that she shall acknowledge God in all she does. Then number 6 says that there shall be nothing too large for Temi to lay down at any time T, if requested by God. Number 7 says that God is the ultimate owner of all Temi owns, and therefore can do anything he desires with them. Now, so I mean, I go through this as often as every week, you know. I mean, it's my covenant book. I keep it, you know, with me usually, you know, everywhere. When I travel, it goes with me because I read it to myself. Just, I mean, it's our deed of agreement between I and God. Okay, this day, you and I will enter into an agreement about how our relationship would be, you know, maybe that, you know. And so if you say he owns it all, like you own nothing, there's no way he will not make you a channel, you know, a channel to bless other people. And that way you will never be dry. You know that what you have is not yours to keep. It's a tool. And I always say, money in the hands of a good man will do good things. And money in the hands of a bad man will do bad things. So if you're a good man, you need to have money so that money can do good things. If you're a Christian, you need to have money so that you can propagate Christianity, the good news, to the ends of the earth, right? With your money, you can spread the love of God. You can feed the hungry. When you fed them, you can now say, oh, there's Jesus here. Listen to me. They will listen to you. When you've paid their rent, when you've paid their tuition fee, you can then preach the gospel and they will hear you. Yeah. It makes more sense that way. So I saw all those things around me, and that was what informed me, you know, to write that book. So I had the topic in my head, in my heart, but I was not sure how to write the book. I remember 2016, I shared it with one of my mentors, one of my coaches, Steve Harris, and Steve said, Temi, write that book or else I'll write it. I'm like, 2016, 6 years ago, that was in April. He said, write that book or else I'll write it. And I'm like, okay. Well, guess what? I didn't even write it until 3 years later. I did not launch it until 3 years after I had written it, you know, because I was putting together the whole book, the content, the item, the reasoning, everything behind it. And I'm so grateful at the reception that's enjoyed. You know, everyone who has read it, they've all come and say, wow, wow. You know, I have my editor has an editor friend who edits books for top pastors in Nigeria. So she said she shared the book with this particular editor, and the editor said, wow, for a non-pastor, this person has written an epic book that in fact, he'll be willing to promote the book when it's out. Wow, because of the content and the richness of the book. And I'm like, whoa, he said it's so practical. And like I said, it's from my experiences. So from what I observed, what I saw, you know, I began to put it together. You know, some Christians who are snobbish. We have a sect, you know, who, when you wear makeup, you don't touch them, you're a sinner, you know, and they will, when you, once you wear trousers, oh, you're going to hell. So they would not come close to you. And you're like, and you are supposed to be a believer, Christian, like if Christ would dine with sinners, and he said he did not come for, he came for, I mean, it was particular about lost sheep. Why are you judging me? Right? And of course, if I have anything to offer that'll make you rich, I will say no to it. And in that case, your version of faith has made you broke. So it's not really about your faith Christianity, but what you call faith, what you define as your faith, your limiting beliefs, your idiosyncrasies, your ideologies, your philosophies, which you hide under religion, you know, has made you broke. That's the idea of the book in all.
That's definitely well said. I definitely agree a lot of things you said, that, you know, oftentimes as Christian, you know, it's not only a Nigerian thing, I feel like it's global. We use the word, you know, Christ and Christian, you know, calling ourselves Christian, as a need for us not to do certain things, not to go after certain goals or achieve certain goals. Like, you know, one thing I like to say that is money is a tool to spread the gospel, Money's a tool for us to do so many
Absolutely.
things. Um,
Yes.
so often it's weird when, when Christians, they always focus on, they interpret, 1 Timothy 6:10 as God, hating money, or the scripture you just talk about the young Chris ruler, as God hates money, it's impossible to be
Mhm.
wealthy. And that leads me to ask, through all your experience, I see that you're very passionate businesswoman. But oftentimes I see that sometimes it's hard for people, once they, very successful, to keep themselves separate from their brand. So how do you separate yourself from the brand so you don't there's Coach Temi, but it's also Coach Temi the mother, the Coach Temi the wife. How do you not mix those together and still keep yourself all together?
Okay, so I would not say I don't mix them together. I can't say that. I would just say I've managed to integrate them all together. But of course, when I'm with my husband, I don't play coach with him. Oh, you play coach with your spouse, you're gonna land in trouble. Thankfully, my kids they're impressionable, so I can coach my children, you know, and I work from home. So usually when they're back from school, I take some minutes off work to welcome them, to see if they have homework, to play with them. Then I come back to work, then I close, I wrap up. Then I've also learned to automate some things in my life. So for example, we have timetables and schedules that help us to connect. So personally, I have timetables I schedule for when to meet my mentees, the hour for them, when to meet my mentors, the hour for them. I schedule it, the days for them. Every first Monday of the month, I go on a personal mini retreat. I leave my home. I go and spend a night at a hotel close by just for a personal retreat and conversation with my spirit man, right? And then we have rituals that we engage in as a family. So for example, on Friday evenings, it's blocked on my calendar, 7 p.m. I go out to dinner with my husband every single Friday, right? We go out. When I'm not around or he's not around, we spend the whole time watching movies together. So I log on to the movie at my end. He logs on at his own end. We are watching the same movie. We could be on WhatsApp call and we are gisting about the movie as though we are there together. Yeah, right. So just that we must spend about 3 hours of 7 to 10 p.m. together that Friday, and we just gossip. We just talk about somebody, not somebody, but we talk about things generally speaking. Maybe what's happening in politics, or what's happening in church, what's happening in your unit. I mean, we just catch up basically. Okay, we just catch up between ourselves. And then I have every day, once it's 7:30, my boys have their bath, and then by 8 o'clock, we all retire to study. So we have a family reading time. Once it's 9 o'clock, if it's some days of the week, we watch a movie together. So we'll put on Netflix on TV, and we would all watch it. And when we are done, I'll begin a master class on the movie we just watched. So what did you learn from that movie? And then from there we can argue, we can make a case, you can make a point, blah blah blah. And then when the day is over, we retire to bed and we read a chapter of the Bible every single day with my kids. So I have 2 boys, 8 and 5. So the 5-year-old reads, the 8-year-old also reads. So anybody who reads says the prayers, and once we say prayers, we all disperse. Now, most times, once they've gone to sleep, my husband and I, we change, we put on a sweater or cardigan, and we take a walk around the estate. My house is in an estate, about 30 minutes to 40 minutes walk when you go round and round and round, right? So we go around again to just talk, catch up. If we have any pending arguments, we fight it out, on the streets. But once we are back in the house, it's all over. right? We make decisions and talk. So that way, I'm able to manage myself, around. So I put a system to it. And that's why there's some days that they are blocked in my calendar. Once you say it's 6 p.m., then 6 p.m. No. Let me say Friday night, 6 p.m. I said, nope. Someone was asking me that, but I said, sorry, I'm engaged. He said, well, boy, I think it's maybe 6 weeks from now. I said, that's because that Friday is locked down throughout the whole year for the past 5 years of my life. So like, oh, okay. Like she could not deal. I mean, it's you can't break it. Like there's no.
Oh, wow.
So like, wow, I said yes, so I don't take live stream sessions. Once I think it will end after 7 p.m., I don't go there because by 7:30, my kids need to bathe. I bathe them at night. My husband does the bathing in the morning because I like to sleep late into the morning. So he does the whole caregiving in the morning. I do it at night. So already, I mean, it's just automating and scheduling this thing. And I also have schedules on my phone. My reminders go off at 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. every day to just call my husband, right? So once it's 1 p.m., I call him. Oh, how you doing? How's the day going? I share stuff with him. Once it's 5 p.m., hey, are you coming home soon? Are you okay? Will you be late? What do you want to eat? Oh, buy me shawarma, buy me burger, that kind of thing, right? So it's set on that reminder. That way, before, if I have a 5 p.m. meeting, I would have called him before 5 p.m. But usually, I just WhatsApp him to the hey guy, hey dude, how you doing? And then we get. So it's basically just automating the things deliberately, and putting the systems and structure. So systemizing it helps me to integrate. So right in the middle of work, I call him, check up on him, right? During the weekend, I can have a call or an event. Then I go with my kids. My kids, they are always in one class or the other, right? They're in camera and photography class, with karate class, with piano lessons. They are in readers club, they are in French class, and in dancing class. So once we are done with one thing, at least 3 things per time. So sign language, swimming, they've learned it all. Right now, they're back in karate, music, and readers club. My son was even the first yesterday in the spelling competition.
Oh, thank God.
Right. So thank God for that. So really, I engage them. So I literally have to block out those hours of their extracurricular activities, right? So like Wednesdays, for example, it's blocked. So Thursday evenings is blocked. Then Saturday mornings, when we go for dance class or swimming classes, it's blocked too. So once you say, oh, if like say, it's next 3 weeks or next 6 months, I'm sorry, it's already blocked out in my calendar. So that's how I'm able to integrate everything. I can't say I balance it so well. Nah, I can't say that, but I managed to integrate it.
Wow. I definitely want to say, Coach Temi, thank you for your time. Thank you for this interview. Thank you for, talking about your story and sharing about how you become this successful coach, this renowned coach around the world. And I want to just ask you this last question. Where can people find more about you on Instagram or any social media platform for people that are interested? And do you have any courses or programs that you want to quickly discuss for those who may be interested in being part of your coaching program?
Yes, absolutely. I would recommend that you find me very easily on Instagram. I'm quite active on Instagram. Temi Ajbewa. My name, just my name as pronounced. Temi is Temi. Ajbewa is Ajbewa. Aji, then Bewa. Ajbewa as pronounced. Right. And on Instagram, the link in my bio has access to, or will lead you to get my books, my YouTube channel, my website, my coaching programs, my live events, my mentoring programs. Like the link in my bio leads you to the gates, everywhere. There's a WhatsApp link there. You can WhatsApp me. My email is there. You can email me, temi@temiajbewa.com. Right. You can email me, join my email list. From that Instagram link in my bio, you have just about anything. And if you feel okay, you don't do Instagram, then visit my website, www.temiajbewa.com. That's all. So from that website, you can sign up for my emails. For my emails, you can see everything about me. I email twice in a week where I teach about personal branding, getting to know yourself, monetizing your knowledge, managing your wealth, and a couple of other things like that. So from there, you can find me. I run courses. I have live events across the world. I've held live events in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, London, Lagos, Abuja, and in December, I'll be having one in the US. So, but with a link in my bio, you get to see what I'm up to part-time. Like I said, again, I have a boot camp for coaches, the highly paid coach boot camp, right? I have a coaching program for coaches too. The business of coaching is a 3-month program. And I have the personal branding course for leaders, right? So if you don't want to do coaching or something, you have a course, personal branding course for leaders. It's an 8 weeks coaching program. So basically, once you're on my Instagram, you can send me a DM. Okay, you can even book a call with me. You can book a 30-minute call with me. We can talk through what you need and help you gain clarity. And from there, make a decision to work with me or not. So that's it basically. Thank you so much, Danny.
No problem. Thank you very much. And for those who are listening, I hope you guys don't see as another guest on the show. I hope this encourages you. I hope this motivates you. I hope you guys take action, which bring clarity. And if you're interested in joining a group of Christians who are working towards becoming financially free, look no further and join the Pray and Invest group. And stay tuned for the next week's episode. Thank you again, Coach Temi.